Hello. I figured I would I printed up my timeline a couple years ago, my AD and BC timelines, and I've done work on them since then, but I wanted to put them together, paste them together to see what they look like on the wall. I think the original idea behind making my timelines was so that you could put them on the wall. And they're also good for looking at on the internet too, because you can superimpose um, different parts of the world and 500-year ages by clicking and having them instantaneously appear and compare the timeline, and then follow the timeline from the beginning to the end of or like forward in time or backward in time. But I think it's actually cooler to have it on the wall, because you can actually see the whole thing, boom, right there, the whole history of the world. So I made BC and AD. I have my AD right here. My BC is in my car, which is in the shop, so I think I'll film that one later when I get my car back. But I just wanted to film it and see what it looked like when it's all spread out. My idea is to eventually print up really pretty ones and try and get every school in the world to put them on their hallways. And the one that I printed up, for some reason I forgot to click it where it prints the colors, which would look cooler. Or maybe I'll do the colors differently on the printed on the wall than what's on the internet. But anyways, this is what the AD timeline looks like. Check it out. So it's about how long it is. Ooh. It's actually a little bit smaller than I thought it would be. These are all 05 or the 2000s, so I'm working on them now, not a whole lot done. So like right to there, you have 05 to 10 to 05, and then 05 down to 2000 is to there, and then I have zeros to 50s, which goes to here, and then 50s to 90s, which goes to here. So anyways, that area would be just the thousands. I figured I'd dedicate more to the 20th century than the rest of the time. But the whole 500-year increments until Christ would be this section here between those two movies is 1500 to 2000, and then that second one there is 1000 to 1500. That third one here, I'll do it. See, so this is 1500s to 2000. And this one is 1000 to 1500. This one will be 500 to 1000. That missing one there is the Mediterranean. It's probably with the BC timeline. And this is 0 to 500. And the way I have it organized is I have them all different parts of the world next to each other, because it'd just be too long if you have them on top of each other. So you have starting with technology, and then religion, and then empires, and then Mediterranean, and then Northern Europe, and then Middle East, and then East Asia, and then Central Asia, the Americas, and Africa. So this is the stuff that I just got off the internet. I'm gonna go to the library and get like the history book, the history timeline, and fill it in the rest of it later. But this is how big it looks, and that's about how long it is. So the idea is just to have it pretty much draping all the way down the whole thing and be this long, all the way down there, like that. Isn't that cool? And even a house could fit this. I think every house should have one. I think I'm gonna sell them, make them myself and sell them, or invite people to just make them themselves by downloading off the internet, but printing it up for my website. But so anyways, you have like this area 0 to 500 isn't whole lot of history that you can find off the internet anyways, which is indicative of how important the history is. And then 500 to 1,000, not all that big. But then 1,500 to 1,500's got a lot, and then especially 1,500 to 2,000. But the parts of the world that have a lot of history, and 500 to 1,000 are, which one is that? Central Asia. Central Asia goes way down. That's with like the Khans. And then the Middle East, all the countries in the Middle East, right? Goes way down. And then the Mediterranean is kind of big. The Mediterranean would have been really big there, but it's missing. And then, of course, it's the Mediterranean, that really long one there is the Mediterranean in 500 to 1,000. And then in the 1,500s to 2,000, you have the Americas are really big. You see? And then right next to it, Central Asia is pretty big. That one in the middle, East Asia, pretty big. Middle East, pretty big. And then the really big one would be Northern Europe. And then technology is this last one, and it's big. So, anyways, I don't think the words are too small. You can read the words. The longest one, you know, would be just about maybe 4.5 feet. So you would start it maybe a foot from the bottom. So, anyways, let's get one last look at the whole thing. And whoa, pretty big. So I think BC will be about the same size, and I'm looking forward to see what that looks like when I get my car back. So that's my 80 timeline. Check it out and print it up. It's pretty good now.